Hello, this is Anthony. Let's walk and talk. So I'm a little path in another town today, and um, I decided that, as I've been walking here, I just feel called to do a message today because, I think I feel like I've been blessed on this journey because really these messages they come in different ways. And what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the journey, but specifically what I want to talk about here is, when you feel like your journey is, or your awakening, when you attach to what you think the meaning of that awakening is, and how that can affect you on your journey. What do I mean by that? Well, in the past, I did a series on twin flames because, as many of you know, that was the catalyst for my awakening. And I spent a lot of time studying these concepts, trying to better understand them from a spiritual perspective, and then I started understanding them from a scientific and a psychological perspective. And it just feels like a lot of times, where I am on the journey, what you begin to understand is that, again, it is just a catalyst to wake you up. It's not necessarily the end destination. But the problem is because of the way that we're built and programmed, we end up being put into a position where we feel like we can't have the journey without the other part or the other being in that journey. Now, the journey, some people say it doesn't exist. They point just to the psychological aspect of it. But, when you begin to understand that everything is in this realm, illusion, planet, whatever, life, whatever you want to call it, that we're all interconnected. You understand that no matter how you look at it, we are all one and we're all interconnected is almost really undeniable. And then to deny it is actually to just be rejecting logic that is almost impossible to refute. And the reason I suggest that is this. As science changes, we learn different things about the world and the universe that we live in. But right now, we have our theories that seem like they're the most plausible. And right now, the biggest, most plausible theory that science has come up with for how the universe was created was through the Big Bang, and it was an explosion that exploded, as many of you know, into all the things that currently exist. And if that's the case, then all things that currently exist came from one point, which means through quantum sciences and quantum mechanics, you understand that everything is connected from that one origin point where life began. And when you understand that, then you understand that we all have a connection, and outside of space-time, outside of this connection, there isn't duality. There is only singularity. I call that the universe. Some people call it source. Some people call it creator. Some people call it God, Allah, whatever term you choose to use. It's just a vibrational message to describe our origin and where our connection point is. And I bring all that up because, again, people who get caught on certain journeys, like the twin flame journey, for instance, they feel like, okay, well, I've met the other half of my soul, and now I'm meant to learn my lessons and walk my path with that other version of me. But the truth is, that's just not how it works. You see, we're all meant to walk a path. We all come here with a purpose, and that purpose is to know thyself. That purpose is for our evolution. That purpose is to understand and understand all things that have to do with life, the universe, and everything. And through that, we have been given the spirit of unconditional love, which is what we are. We've been given this desire and ability to build and create. And, through that, yes, there's been difficulties in our evolution as a species, but it truly is a beautiful, beautiful experience. Now, the reason I bring up these thoughts about the journey is because having had my awakening through the twin flame experience, it's easy to see why people get caught into thinking that that is the only aspect that will help you to learn and grow. When in reality, when you truly understand that journey, you understand that that is a catalyst for awakening, but it doesn't necessarily mean it is the end destination. You see, in that, your soul has free will. And in free will, you're going to learn different things and have different understandings about life, the universe, and everything. And with that, one aspect of you may choose to take that part of the journey while the other may not. And that's not a bad thing, because really, again, remember, it's duality. So you have the different aspects of energy, what we call them masculine and feminine, that is experiencing self in this illusion. And so you understand that is actually a very, very beautiful thing. And the reason why is because it gives you another point of infinite information to help your soul, which is who you are, to learn, grow, and evolve. But you also have to understand that because there are certain purposes and aspects of the twin flame relationship, you understand that when one person chooses to take that journey, and really what the journey is, and most don't understand this, is it's the journey of self-love. It's to understand yourself more deeply, appreciate yourself more deeply, understand and heal a lot of challenges and karmic information from the past, and to be able to understand and embody unconditional love. These are all very key aspects on the journey for many of us. And we're all in different journeys, and we're all in different places on the journey. And that's not, again, I've said this and I'll continue to say this, it doesn't mean that anyone is greater or better than anyone else. It's that we're all on our journey, and we all learn from each other from our journey. And so the point of the journey that I want to get to, especially for those who feel they're on the twin flame journey, is that it teaches you unconditional love. And the reason it teaches you unconditional love is because you finally have an understanding or an aspect, because we generally choose to project outside of ourselves what actually is inside of us. Meaning, we are unconditional love, but because we have such a difficult time remembering that that's what we are and what exists inside of us, we project that illusion exterior to us into another being. And then we think we can never love more than that. But unconditional love is unconditional. So what it means is, it means allowing that other half of you to have their experience and be free to have that experience. And it changes not the way you feel about them. But then the real understanding is having that unconditional love for self. And when you have that unconditional love for self, you begin to explore self more. And in exploring self more, you might choose to explore self through other relationships. And when you choose to explore self through other relationships, what happens is, because that is what aspect that you choose to learn on this incarnation, the universe will bring to you another soul who also desires to learn similar things about themselves, which gives you that ability to have that unconditional love for other people and really learn what unconditional love is for others. You see, it's easy to consider unconditional love when you have some sort of what appears to be a magical or incredible connection with someone that you can't explain, that you've never had before. But then to learn to embody that unconditional love for all beings, and see the divinity in all beings, and love that in all beings, regardless of how they are in life, and how you tie yourself to those beings, meaning from a compatibility or a values morals, ethical perspective. You see, that's what we all argue and fight about. Those are our triggers. When someone has a different perspective, um, then suddenly that creates a fear, and that fear creates emotions, and those emotions create things like anger, hurt, all those things. You see, we're going through this in the world today. We've talked about this in another video. We're experiencing that as we speak. And the reason we're experiencing that as we speak is because it needs to be brought to conscious understanding so that we can heal the things that got us there, so that we are capable of evolving as a species and creating more in life. And for those who are on the twin flame journey, that's why this is so important. Because as you continue to go through life and you desire one thing, one person, what you're missing is that thing you're desiring is self. That thing that you're choosing to want to love is within you. It is self. That thing there's an illusion of separation is just you. And so when you begin to understand that, you begin to be able to love self more deeply, love self without judgment, and then start to love others without judgment. And when you take that journey, that's when, for me, truly, the magic of life begins to completely unfold. And when it unfolds, you see this I love this term, this tapestry that has been created for us to see and understand and experience. And that is a truly amazing thing. But what say you? How do you feel about that? Do you feel like when you're on your journey that you're tied to one specific image or illusion for relationship? Or do you think that, as I do, you begin to understand that what you're here to learn, the universe will bring to you, whether that's in one particular being or in many beings, in order to help you, again, to truly understand yourself, evolve, and be able to take the walk on this journey. As always, if you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm truly grateful. And until I talk to you again, peace, love, light. I hope you have the most amazing day.